I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're diving into a story of resilience, hope, and survival against all odds. Florina Dragovic was given just months to live after a devastating stage 4 cancer diagnosis, but she refused to accept that fate. And she has put her story in a powerful book. It is called Rising Through Ashes, A Journey of Hope and Healing. In the book, she shares her remarkable battle to reclaim her life, blending cutting-edge treatments, holistic healing, and the power of an unbreakable spirit. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. And be sure to download the Spotlight Network TV app streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Florina, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Your story is remarkable. 38 years old is when you got this terrible diagnosis. You're still a kid and you get
Yeah,
this terrible news. What was that like? Tell us what happened.
it was weird. My very first response was, "You're joking. I never go down the cereal aisle because I don't eat junk food. I don't eat cereal. I just don't like it."
Yeah.
So it was very it was different. It was difficult to accept it. It was not registering at all, and somehow denial has become like my coping mechanism.
Mm.
But it wasn't completely denial. I actually did I did so much research. It was during COVID, so everything was slow with the tests. So by the time they were done doing all the tests, trying to find out what gene it is and all, the cancer mutations and all these tests to prepare me for chemo, I was doing research on my end and I learned a lot. And I became even more strict on my diet. And I just somehow, as difficult as it was to accept the sentence you have cancer, I
Mm.
somehow armored myself up and was ready to fight.
Yeah. Well, it's good you were ready to fight because I think if you're going to survive, you have to have a fighter's spirit. You use both conventional medicine and holistic medicine, I understand, right?
Yes, yes, I did. So during my research and the tests and everything at the very beginning, by the time they were getting me ready to start chemo and going to like second and opinion, a third opinion, I went to many doctors. During this period, I was also like involving myself a lot in alternative treatments, and a lot of people, when they come from the Zen, you have to be very, very careful because I don't know, so many people have talked to me with so much power, like this can heal you, this can heal you. And it was difficult for me to accept that. Like I knew the word cancer itself is very strong. So you can't just be like, okay, I'm gonna do all alternative treatments and heal. Um, so I got lucky to find a doctor to work with me, an oncologist, a very nice oncologist. To this day, she's like, she can't believe I'm still alive. She's like, if you did chemo, you would not have been here like 4 years later. It's gonna be 4 years in May. But yes, I did a lot of research and I trusted my gut and I trusted my mind, the power of my brain to lead me
Hmm.
and find a doctor that's going to work with me to keep things supervised.
Yeah, amazing. So you did not have chemotherapy.
No, I did not.
Did you have radiation therapy?
I did not. I actually had a femur transplant, and after my femur surgery, because the cancer got to my bones, and one of the big surgeries was on my femur because it like ripped, fractured. And
Hmm.
after that, I was supposed to start radiation for 6 months, and I declined it. This was in November of 2021,
Hmm.
and I didn't do it. But I am dealing with I'm on this very strong medication called Piqray. Some people say it's like medical, it's like chemo pill,
Hmm.
but my doctor says it's immunotherapy. I am on medication. It's a very strong medication. It can cause fatigue, diarrhea, hair loss, and all these things.
Right.
And yeah, monthly injections.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am doing all that stuff.
So this is still an ongoing battle for you.
It's an ongoing, well, metastasis is an ongoing battle. That's the thing. Like, a couple of my friends are like, "Oh, if you did chemo, you would have been healed already." No, it's I caught cancer very late. Once it gets metastasis to the bones, like that's your life with it. Like
Mm,
whatever, and there are so many people that live many, many years with it. Um, it was a pleasure for me a couple of weekends ago. It was a pleasure for me to meet this woman that has been diagnosed since 2002.
mm,
So, talking to her, I was like, wow, I'm not alone.
yeah,
You just have to put up a fight. You
yeah,
really have to put up a fight.
absolutely. Now, the doctor you are working with, is she affiliated with any of the big hospitals in New York City,
Yes, yes. Yeah, she's
like
a big
Sloan
brother.
Kettering or something like that?
She works for Northwell Health,
Okay.
but it's a big, yeah,
It's a
Florina
big
Dragovic.
hospital system in New
It's a
York
big
City.
hospital.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's a big
yeah.
hospital. Yeah, many, many cancer people. Yeah, she does chemo
Well,
and all that. She's a very well-known doctor.
well, it's wonderful that she was able to take your preferences and your choices
She
and your
didn't want to, but she was like, okay, I'll give you 3 months. And those 3 months turned into like 4 years.
yeah, well, thank goodness. Thank goodness you've thrived despite your illness. Um, Tell us about writing the book. What was that like for you?
I started writing pretty much for like my own therapy,
Hmm.
um, kind of like my writing down my thoughts and writing them. It has been difficult. Like
Yeah,
even though I wrote the book, from a very strong standpoint and positive, it has been difficult. It's been a hard
yeah,
journey.
yeah,
There are, it's alternative treatments you don't have to exactly do them to cure cancer. You can do them to support your system, your immune system. A lot
right,
of people are like, oh, I'm doing chemo, I can eat whatever I want. Like that's doesn't sound right. Like especially if you're
right.
in chemo, you cannot eat whatever you want. You need nutrition.
Yeah.
Um,
So you're
so
careful with your
it
diet now, and you're,
right. So like I'm like I'm moving away from the question like how was it writing the book, but all of these things just made me feel like people have to hear it.
hmm,
People need to hear all of this stuff, and I pretty much wrote it. It would start like a therapy for myself, but I pretty much wrote it to just get it out there and people to get support and hear that there are other ways to fight and you're not alone.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it was an interesting journey to also write the book, and now it's out, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're helping other people. We're glad that you are done so well with your own cancer treatment, which is a blend of, traditional medicine, as we mentioned, holistic therapy. Mindfulness has been very important to you as well, right? Tell us about that aspect of your
Yeah.
of your story and how that's
Yeah,
helped.
mindfulness and prayer. It's mindfulness I always practiced. I was always a yogi and meditation, but not to this extent. But
Mm.
prayer, on the other hand, I was never like, dear
Yeah.
God, this and that.
Yeah.
You would not catch me do that. And in fact, I would make jokes. I would be like, if God exists, then why are there words? Or like, if God exists, he's probably like chilling in Hawaii.
That's funny.
So through this journey, I connected with God and prayer. Not exactly religion. I
Hmm.
think we only have like one religion, love. Love has been my motivation, practicing love in every way I can. Like I love
Yeah.
the sun, I love the air, I love
Yeah.
this interview right now.
That's great. You appreciate different things that are happening to you.
Yeah, practicing love in general, that's been my religion. And
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, you grew up in a beautiful spot, a small village in Montenegro. Did that shape your view on life, the reason why you enjoy the different things about nature and the different things about your existence?
well, that definitely gave me the fighting part, like
Hmm.
the fighting spirit. I definitely took that from home. I don't know if you're familiar with the war in Yugoslavia, but that was my childhood.
Right.
So and I probably took, the all the muscles to fight cancer from upbringing. I was brought up in a village that we would know how to survive.
Mm.
How to get food, how to get clothes. It was nice. It wasn't, I didn't go through a war, and Montenegro was fine, but Bosnia and Kosovo were our neighbors.
Mm.
So yeah, my hometown, I miss home. It definitely that definitely got my fighting spirit up.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, I definitely think where we're raised influences us for the rest of our lives. And you grew up in a beautiful spot. And I think that's why you appreciate the beautiful things in life so much. Talk to us about some of the holistic practices that you incorporated into your routine that have been helpful to you.
Well, food is number one, but food is
Mhm.
number one overall for everything. It's one of my main reasons of writing this book is I wish people that are not ill would actually read it. I didn't exactly write it for, I mean, because people that are dealing with cancer, we already more or less know because we have to learn. But I wish this book would come across people that are young and taking their life for granted, taking their health for granted. Because it's easy, it's easy to just go to a party and,
Yeah,
watch a movie.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, food is something that we don't pay too much attention to. Like, if you go to a party, to a barbecue or something, like, what am I gonna bring? I'm gonna bring chips and popcorn. You can actually bring avocados and apples.
exactly, exactly. It's a good way to look at it. When your health is threatened, absolutely, you do start looking for what's good about life and what's good about nutrition and
Yeah.
what will sustain you. And you like saying the chips, not so much. I'll take the avocados and
It's
apples for sure.
Somehow, yeah, it's somehow there's so much good food in the stores. It's somehow easy to just go to the junk aisle and just fill up your cart with all this junk food. But there's so much good food. So much
Exactly.
good food.
Agreed, 100%. And I think it makes a huge difference in us. What we put into our bodies, fuels our bodies, and we have to fuel it with the right stuff, without a doubt. The name of the book we've been talking about today is called Rising Through Ashes, A Journey of Hope and Healing. In it, the author shares her remarkable battle to reclaim her life, blending cutting-edge treatments, holistic healing, and the power of an unbreakable spirit. Florina, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate your time and your insight. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.